Let me ask you a question. Are you getting no views, no RPM, really bad retention, and no revenue on your channel? Because within this video, I'll show you how you can exactly overcome all of these criteria. You're going to be able to break your 0 view jail. You're going to be able to actually get a higher RPM. I'm talking $10 minimum. Guarantee boost your retention as well as your overall revenue with tangible steps and actual real life examples with actual video topics. So you can actually literally create the video topics I'm about to show you within this video, apply it to your channel, and basically guarantee views because of the way that this strategy and system works, okay? So if you're feeling stressed and lost, you've never made YouTube work before, you're obviously making a decent amount of money from your job. Let's just say you're working and making 6 figures, but you're obviously tied down to time and location freedom. This video is for you. Everyone else, you can chill. You can click off this video because you do need some level of funds to obviously make YouTube automation work. If you're coming to this business model with $0, this is not the right business model for you. If you need money for capital, for startup, boom, to make more money. This is how it works, okay? This is also the same strategy which I was able to make over $400,000 online with the help of YouTube faceless automation channels and the Evergreen strategy. So for those who don't know who I am, my name is Daniel Wang, made over 400K online. Listen up, buckle up. By the end of this video, I have notes here, by the way. You will be exactly clear on how you can do this system for yourself on your own, whether that be a brand new channel or your old channel is completely dead. I've done this on my dead channel while in college, and I literally made 6 figures doing so. And this is also the same strategy which I've helped my client Trevor, with 0 previous experience whatsoever on YouTube, make over 800,000 long-form views, and now he has a $12 RPM going into March on his YouTube channel. So you can actually print thousands of dollars with this exact system. Step number 1 is you have to make irresistible content that actually solves a problem. Not entertainment content, not content that's convincing others to click on your video, because Alex Ramosi says it's the best. What's the easiest way to sell a hot dog? I can't really draw a hot dog. The easiest way for you to sell a hot dog is not to have the best hot dog. It's not for you to have the best video. It's not for you to have the cheapest price. It's for you to be in front of a crowded people who are starving. So it's not even about the product, which is the video. It's not even about what you say within the video. It's about who you're making the video for. Who's actually prepared to watch your content. Because there's always a demand for any single niche or every single industry within YouTube. But the severity of the demand and how bad that demand is going to be what makes or breaks your ability to get views. YouTube is huge. There's billions of people users, Demand's always there for whatever topic it is about. So you have to make irresistible content that solves problems for other people. That's how you can make it irresistible, and that's how you make the demand so crazy. The way you're able to sell hot dogs so crazy is by literally solving the problem of a ton of people's hunger. You're solving a massive problem, a lot better than creating the best hot dog or the cheapest price, okay? Now I'm gonna give you actual tangible examples of video ideas like this. And so I'm gonna ask you this question. Which video do you think will actually get more views on your YouTube channel, okay? Funniest PS5 Funniest PS5 rage fails. Who is this marketed towards, and why would anyone click on this video? It seems it's more viral, it's more funny, maybe you'll get more views compared to now. Or your PS5 isn't working, fix this. Which one, if it was placed in front of the right audience, give you a higher chance to get views and obviously make revenue? If you're thinking it's the first one, you're absolutely wrong. If you're thinking the second one, voila, you're correct. The reason why is because in front of the right crowd and audience, if I had a crowded people where they had a PS5 that was broken and they were too lazy or poor to go fix it by an actual repair person, and they just want to learn how to actually get it to work again, the chances of them clicking my video is going to be drastically higher simply because the why and the reasoning and the severity of that demand is a lot higher than if people were just surfing the internet in front of the right crowd. Obviously, funniest PS5 rage fails. The right crowd would be just people who are surfing YouTube for entertainment. So you're basically convincing and begging others to click on your video if you're to create content like this, rather than this, where you're just supplying for a very massive demand. You're going to be convincing individuals to buy your hot dog if you're doing that in the middle of nowhere where everyone was, full. If you did it in like a city where there's a ton of other restaurants, you'd have the best hot dogs. You're not going to get a lot of sales. But if you're the only hot dog stand, boom, you're not even convincing people. You are literally just supplying for a massive demand where everyone is hungry. Same deal here. Everyone is hungry to find a solution. You have to create problem-solving content. Now, this is going to be boring. It's not going to be fancy. But this is the same strategy what I've done to get tens of millions of views on my YouTube channel and how Trevor, zero previous experience in 2024, he made 800,000 long-form views. That was also like 4 months ago or 3 months ago. Now he's definitely well over 1 million views on his YouTube channel. All long-form content. This is not shorts. The shorts give you like a 20-cent RPM. You do not want to post shorts ever on your YouTube channel unless you're just trying to farm subs and I guess farm bragging rights. That's really all what shorts are kind of for. Right. Now, the second criteria for you to actually virtually guarantee views is you have to pair it with a massive market imbalance. What does that exactly mean? If you pair content that solves problems where it definitely supplies for a very massive demand and the severity of the demand is very high, but then there's also a ton of other supplies for it. Like if there was a crowded room full of hungry people, but then there was also 10 hot dog stands, and you were one of them, the chances of you getting hot dog sales would still be there, but it's definitely a lot smaller than, let's say, if you had only one other hot dog stand. So there was only 2 channels making videos about that massive, whatever, right? So when there's a massive gap between supply versus demand, there's a huge market gap within that industry on YouTube, the chances of you getting views would be so much higher. And notice how all the criteria I have mentioned to you, it has nothing to do with the video topic, because a lot of content on YouTube is cheap quality, low quality production. It's very difficult to compete for the best quality because there's literally channels like Mr. Beast, there's channels like Coco Melon, there's very big channels with a huge teams that create super good edits. It'll be impossible for you to compete within that area. So for you to actually have a chance with no previous experience, no anything, with just yourself and maybe some other freelancers from Fiverr, you have to compete with a market imbalance. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense. And so for you to actually have, so number 2, massive market imbalance. If there is actually a very, very big demand for it and the severity of the demand is super high, where you're solving that problem, and then there's virtually no or very little supply to fill up that demand, the chance of you getting views would be massively higher. Now I'll give you an actual good example, okay? Pay attention. Boom! Why would this actually do good? Because there's a massive amount of people that deleted TikTok after it was quote-unquote banned, and then 48 hours later or 24 hours later, Donald Trump got it back. So now there's a bunch of people who don't have TikTok because they deleted it because they're dumb, and then now they can't reinstall it because it's not in the App Store anymore, but it just came back, they want to use TikTok again. There's a massive need rather than convincing. This is not a convincing-based video. This is targeted towards a crowd of people who really need to get TikTok back, because otherwise you have to suffer the consequence of not being able to scroll on TikTok. And that's like a habit or addiction that they probably have already. So now, think about the demand, which is probably millions of people who uninstall TikTok, and then how many pieces of content or channels are actually supplying for this demand. Probably like 10. Now obviously 10 is like a good amount of channels. But if there's only 10 channels supplying for this idea, and then there's millions of other demanded people, the ratio is so big to the point where it will be so much easier for you to get views. I guarantee you right now. Right now it's a little bit late. If you did this like the day after, guarantee you'll get like at least 10,000 to 100,000 views, maybe even a million views on your video. And you're going to basically get a really nice payday. Couple $100, few $1,000s, whatever your RPM may be. It will probably be a high RPM as well. And the reason why I say that is because it was only banned in the States. And so who would only need to watch this again? You're supplying for content for people who are specifically from the States, because everywhere else it was not banned. You can still use TikTok. So if you only get US viewers, which is the strongest and highest spending power audience, your RPM will be super massively high as well. So your ability to get views, very, very high. The quality of your views, very, very high. So then your RPM will be very, very high. And that goes to my next point, which is how to actually get a very, very high RPM consistently across all your videos, okay? I'll go into that in a second. But your views on your videos will never, ever be at zero if the topic itself is evergreen, meaning there's an endless demand for it. This is based on a trend. Like I said earlier, if you make this video right now, or heck, even 2 months later or 2 years later, you're probably not going to get that many views, because this was based on that ban trend. So if you now shift all of those factors where there's a massive need for it, and you're supplying for a demand that has a lot of severity, and you also multiply that with a massive market imbalance, where there's a massive demand but low supply to supply for that demand, and the demand is evergreen, meaning that there's endless demand and the severity of the demand stays the same forever, you can literally have a money printing machine that will print you money for years, decades, centuries, literally centuries. Social media is not going anywhere. It'll probably be here to stay for centuries, okay? So you have to focus on evergreen content that is actually going to be able to get you views many, many months later, many, many years later, heck, even decades later. So, I'll give you one that literally, this pen sucks. You have to create something that's, write this down somewhere, by the way, very, very important. Solves a problem times market imbalance times evergreen. This is the formula to guarantee views, so that way you will never ever have to stress and be feeling lost about content that has 0 views, 0 RPM, 0 revenue, stuff like that. Now I'll give you another really good example. Notice all of the examples I give are very hyper-specific examples, are usually longer. The reason why I do this is because the more specific and in detail the topic is about, the chances of there being a supply or a video about it is going to be decreasing and diminishing. If it's broad, like how to play Fortnite, there's tons of videos made about that, but how to play Fortnite on school Chromebook or MacBook. It solves a problem. People from schools, they want to play Fortnite, so there's a big enough severity. As long as it solves the problem, there's big enough severity. Market imbalance, there are millions, if not hundreds of millions of people in school. Okay, and out of all of them, a good amount of them would have a gaming addiction. So the demand for kids in school who want to play Fortnite will be pretty high all of the time. Why? MacBook's here to stay, Fortnite's here to stay, school is here to stay. There's no factors in here which is trending or evergreen. Sure, maybe Fortnite might die out a couple of years later, but you just find another game that's endless, like Minecraft. How to play Minecraft on school MacBook. So it has these two factors and it's evergreen, right? There's a massive market imbalance. Sorry, that was for evergreen. Market imbalance. Millions, if not hundreds of millions of individuals. How many channels actually supply for this very specific video topic on how to play? Search this up on YouTube. See what you find. Count how many videos there actually is that accurately and specifically supplies for this. A handful. You can probably count the amount of channels that are on your hand, right? So, and also notice the views, the view potential. The view potential is going to be probably not, tens of millions or millions, but it's going to be like hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. And as long as it's evergreen, over a long enough trajectory time, the lifetime view potential will be in the millions. Or even tens of millions. There are many, many channels that solves problems, from many, many years ago that has now tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of views. Type in on YouTube, how to tie a tie. That's a prime example that solves a problem, which is a massive market imbalance multiplied by evergreen. How to tie a tie. Look at the top videos. How many views do they have? Like 50 million views, 40 million views. That strategy is exactly what we do on a much smaller scale in terms of the specificity of the topic, but then we make it up for it by leveraging volume. The more content you post that is evergreen, the bigger backlog of content you have on your channel, the more ability and more consistent your views would be. Because if you have 1,000 evergreen contents and then one dies out, you have 999 pieces of content that's still generating you consistent views every single day. Think about that. You have 1,000 videos, each of them are bringing you 10 views per day, which is literally saying 10 views per day. What is that? 10,000 daily views. Which is absolutely terrible, by the way. 10 views per day is dirty work. This is very, very bad. But 10 views per day across 1,000 videos, that's 10,000, right? Let's just say you deleted 5 videos for whatever reason, or 5 videos stopped getting views. You're still going to get 9,950 or something like that. You're going to still basically get the same amount of views. So not only is your views going to be very hyper consistent, but your revenue is going to be also hyper consistent, and your business as a general is going to be consistent, predictable, very stable, which is good in a business realm because you don't want to have a high volatility business where one month you get paid $10,000 and next month you get paid $40. That's not a good business. Okay. Now, the last equation to ultimately satisfy this equation is a big RPM. Because if you were to create this video about that MacBook, school one, your target audience will be kids. Kids don't have a high spending power. You're not going to get paid a lot of dollars per views. And so, yeah, sure, you probably get, a really good amount of views, like hundreds of thousands of views. But then you're only going to get paid like a couple $100, which is good in and of itself, but you can get paid thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars with the same amount of views if you leverage a big RPM on your videos. And the way that you actually leverage a big RPM, the way I was able to get videos with $100 RPM, $50 RPM, and tons of videos with $10+ RPM is simply by making the advertiser more money. Advertisers will be only willing to spend more money on your videos if your videos can generate them an ROI. Because you're not getting paid by YouTube. YouTube is just the middleman. You're getting paid directly from the pockets of advertisers. That's why it's called ad revenue. Revenue per mille, which is basically per 1,000 views. So let's say, I've said this in many videos before, but let's say there's an advertiser, okay, and they are spending $10 on, 1,000 eyeballs from your video. $10 they spent on 1,000 people. So that means that 1,000 of my viewers watched their ad, and that ad led to a product which was, let's say, also $10. If just one of my individuals bought his $10 product, he would make a 100% return on investment, which means that it was a pretty decent, but not the best. He's breaking even. Now, if I got 2 people to buy his product, boom, he's at a 2x ROI, 2x ROI. He'd be more willing now to spend $10 consistently on my channel. Or heck, even if I bring him in more sales, let's say I bring him 5 sales, next time, he's going to be willing to spend even more dollars because this is a limited amount of views I'll be getting. I'm not going to be getting infinite views, and other advertisers are going to be trying to place their ad budget and bid on my views. And so when 2 other advertisers or more advertisers are in a bidding war to compete to place their ad in front of my viewers, because my viewers have a high spending power, the ability for them to make an ROI off of my viewers buying their ad is going to be very, very high. That's how I'm able to get advertisers to pay literally $100 for 1,000 views. Because out of my 1,000 views, they can get many, many sales, or they can get a sale on their expensive product and they're going to still make their money back. Does that make sense? So that's how RPMs work, and I'll give you another specific, tangible example for you to create. Right? You want to build video ideas around a high RPM application that targets rich people with spending power. That's how you're able to get a very, very high RPM, no matter what. That's how Trevor did it. That's how Trevor literally did it and got a $12 RPM. And all I told Trevor was, I want you to focus more on creating video topics that are specifically targeted towards business owners. Because who are the richest people in this whole country, or in this world? Business owners, entrepreneurs, not doctors, not engineers. Target business owners who make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, okay? So, what Trevor did was he focused on apps that were used within businesses to help business owners make more money. And that's also how he was able to get literally a $12 RPM in the month of March across the videos he posted in March. And $12 RPM is very, very good. The average RPM on YouTube is about $4, okay? So now, I'll give you another very, very hyper-specific example. Most efficient way to use AI for copy. Now, this is just obviously an idea. You don't have to title it word for word because this is obviously a long title. You could probably figure out a way to shorten it. But the most efficient way to use AI for copywriters to make more money. What does this include? It solves a massive problems for copywriters, which is a type of business model, to make more money. Because a lot of people want to use AI. It's really, really easy to use to make copywriters do their work in a faster time, and also help copywriters make more dollars long term because they want to make more money. You know, it's obviously not a need, but they hyper want to. So that you're not convincing anyone in any matters. They need your video more than you need them. First problem. Second problem. Massive imbalance. There's a lot more copywriters or just people in general who want to use AI to make money than the people who are supplying for this hyper-specific example. As long as it's a hyper-specific, detailed example that helps and solves a problem that is evergreen as well, because copywriting is here to stay, AI is here to stay, AI is only going to get better, and making money is here to stay. Boom! The final killer is the high RPM. Copywriter, make more money. Copywriting is a business model. Rich people will watch this video, or people who are trying to get rich, who have money to invest towards themselves are going to watch this video. You're not going to get kids watching this video. You're not going to get probably third world countries watching this video. At least I don't think so. So the most efficient way to use AI for copywriters to make more money will give you all of the box checked. This is one example out of the hundreds of other examples you can find by just brainstorming with your brain. And obviously get a ton of money with the guaranteed evergreen traffic and the guaranteed RPM. And obviously pocket home a ton of dollars, okay? So, now all of that being said, if you build a channel that has hundreds of videos exactly like this, you will be printing for decades. As long as YouTube exists, your channel will be printing. Because obviously this is evergreen. All the videos should be getting views for here to stay forever. I could pop up some graphs if I don't forget to edit and shove them in. Like the graphs literally all look like this. Okay? Your video might, be dead at the start. After a couple of months, you're probably getting a couple thousand views. But then once you get more views, once YouTube recognizes it as actually a piece of content that is valuable, they're going to push it out more, rank it higher in YouTube search, and your views are going to be like that. Now, imagine having hundreds of videos like that. All you have to do is sit back, relax. It does not feel real. Like, I'm getting printed hundreds of dollars every day. I'm putting in 20 minutes of work every single day to find these video ideas. I'm posting maybe 10 times per day, 20 times per day. I'm leveraging volume massively, and my views are just rolling in and snowballing, compounding effect. It does not feel real at all. But this is the way how I was able to do this. $400K online, tens of millions of views, leveraging super, super high RPM, and how literally anyone can do this. If you feel actually stuck in your never-ending 9-to-5 cycle, you're making good money, let's say you're making 6 figures from your job, but then you have no time freedom, no location freedom, this is probably the best business model for you. No other business model requires as much work or as little work as this, where you can still earn 6 figures every single year passively, basically on autopilot. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned something. I don't have a single course to sell you, but shameless plug, if you do want mentoring one-on-one with me, and I'll help you actually implement these types of videos to your channel directly, whether that be on a new channel or a dead channel, and scale you to at least $5,000 minimum per month or your money back, and you don't have to pay me. There'll be a link somewhere for you to apply to work with me one-on-one. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Let's get after it. Oh,